What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTLF back with another post-game recap as the Lakers get embarrassed by the Dallas Mavericks 114 to 100. We take our third loss of the season. Tough game. Look, honestly, we were going to get a loss eventually. I'm not very happy about this one. I'm going to break it down for you guys right now. But we knew we can't win them all. However, this is a bad loss because it was at home and we were up at the half. Normally, we come out with slower starts and stronger finishes. Today, we came out with a horrible finish. I mean, I felt like the team just quit in the second half. This is why it was so disappointing. Obviously, we are more talented than this team, but offensively, the Mavericks are the number one offensive rated team in the NBA. And you saw why tonight with good reason. They're very talented. So I want to say credit to the Mavericks, for they beat us. Also credit to the refs because the refs were trash. Our bench was trash today, including Kuz. Yes, everybody. And I felt like LeBron and AD didn't show up in the second half. They settled for way too many jump shots. And they were having their way with the Mavericks and in the paint, including Anthony Davis with Kristaps Porzingis in the first half. So why they went away with it? Well, I have a couple of theories. Well, the officiating was garbage. We weren't getting calls in the paint, so that can have something to do with it. Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate you, bro. He said, "Damn." When you don't get calls, you tend to either overcompensate by shooting more or you try to be more aggressive, and now you're focused on drawing fouls instead of focusing on finishing the play. And that's what I felt like happened to LeBron and the Lakers tonight. I felt like they were blowing easy layups because they were more worried about complaining about calls, and you can't do that. You got to play through the contact. Another thing is too much holding the ball by LeBron and Anthony Davis on one end of the floor and no ball movement in the second half. First half, ball movement was a little bit better. But it's hard to move the ball when guys aren't knocking down shots. Danny Green was atrocious. Kuzma was atrocious today. Rondo really didn't shoot good. I mean, all in all, it was just one of those bad games that was bound to happen. That's why I kind of had a feeling, and I had you guys vote for the jacket. You guys voted no jacket, but I kind of had a feeling, man. And it's unfortunate that we had to lose in this fashion because it's embarrassing to lose like that. Yes, our bench definitely needs to step up, but we do miss Avery Bradley. We getting killed from the perimeter by everybody, and their mama is coming out shooting lights out. Joshua J, what's up, bro? He said Vogel is terrible. He's holding Kuz back. No, Kuzma has played bad. To be fair, we got to keep it 100. Vogel's not terrible. Vogel's done a great job. Tonight, his rotations weren't that great. I thought JaVale could have played a little bit more with their size. We gave up way too many offensive rebounds, but Kuzma has been bad, and especially this game. So, I mean, it's just one game, though. I mean, so those people saying Kuzma's trash, just shut up because you're going to be really quiet when he has a good game. Please shut up. We know he was bad. You can say he's bad. Just don't call any of our players trash, please. They're the same players that are really quiet about KCP now. So, I mean, you can say he had a trash game, but please, I beg of you, don't trash our players. You're better than that. Give the kid some slack. Yes, he had a bad game, but remember, he's still acclimating himself to the new offensive scheme. And no, I'm not making excuses for him. He was bad today. Just don't say Kuzma's trash. That's ridiculous. That makes you sound like a hater. Makes you sound like not a real Laker fan, a fair weather fan. Makes me think you're on your period. If you're trashing our players, it's like, bro, stop it. Like, don't be such an emotional person. Like, seriously, chill out. But okay, back to the game, back to real grown folk talk instead of this little side talk. Lakers just played bad game. We have to throw this one in a dumpster. Burn that thing, light it, lighter fluid, all that good stuff. Just light it, man. And we have to start from scratch. Now, can the bench step up? They have to because, they didn't show up. Troy Daniels was off. Kuzma, Rondo, nobody was really stroking the ball when they got wide open shots. Even Caruso really didn't show up tonight. So we have to figure out a way to get them more involved in the offense. And that way they can get going defensively. Because I feel like when players are just standing around in one corner and they're not getting enough shots up, I feel like sometimes their defensive emotions aren't really into the game like that. Our defense was bad. We gave up way too many points. They had 90 by the third. I think that's a recipe for disaster, especially from one of the best, if not the best, defensive team in the league. We only had 3 blocks tonight. I'm looking at the stats right here. Look, this is the reason why we really lost. We only had 3 blocks. The Mavericks had 11 steals on us. We turned the ball over 17 times, And yeah, it was just all bad. We shot what from the field? We shot 46% from the field. We shot under 50%. We shot 25.9 from the beyond the arc. 7 for 27. That's not going to get the job done. That has to come up. But all in all, it was just a bad game. I know about Tim Donaghy, Lakers squad. I know exactly what you're talking about. These refs have been atrocious all season long, but the Lakers got to get out of their head. We can't play to the refs. We can't play hoping for them to get more calls and try to show them up because they'll give you less calls. We just have to keep playing through it. We're talented enough where we could win. Honestly, the recipe to the game, to win the whole game, pick and roll with LeBron all day. Make them switch, make them send a third person, then kick it out for wide open shots. We didn't do that. Indo 420, thank you, bro. Appreciate the donation. Say, how can anyone call the Lakers trash after 10 W's in a row? Yeah, bro, I understand. That's what I'm saying. Let's not be emotional, man. We have to, look, Kuz, he's having a rough little stretch right here, I will admit. Am I concerned about him? Not really. I know he's going to get back on track. I know he's a fourth quarter beast. I know that he's struggling a little bit to adapt to his bench role. This is the first time in his career in 3 years that I've seen him struggle this much. But I was talking to my boy Lonnie about this at work, and I said, look, man, Kuzma's going to struggle because when you're playing losing basketball for a losing team, it's easier to get shots off with no pressure. It's easier to score. It's easier to look good. However, when you're playing for a team where every shot matters that much more, when you're playing for a team where you have to pick and choose your spots and you have to play smarter, it's harder to adapt and find your place on that team. I feel like Kuzma's he's in a transition period where he's never felt this kind of pressure. Last year was just a taste, but since we were still playing losing basketball, Kuz had the green light. Kuz doesn't have the green light anymore. If he shoots like 3 or 4 bad shots, he can't keep shooting, which is what his DNA is. His DNA is killer. Keep shooting through the struggles like Kobe and eventually get out of the funk. But it's hard to get out of the funk when you shoot 2 to 3 shots and you miss, and all of a sudden the coach yanks you out of the game because he's holding you accountable. You got to be smarter. So at the end of the day, yes, Kuz is struggling. No, Kuz is not trash. But the whole bench struggled. To be honest, if you want to look at it from abroad, Danny Green's not a bench player, but he's been playing really bad lately. He hasn't been knocking down his shot. His defense has been subpar, and he hasn't been staying in front of his guy. If we want to criticize multiple people, we can. And that's fair. You can criticize them. Just don't call them trash. You can't lose to the Mavs at home. Actually, Rody, I had a feeling this was going to happen. The Mavs are the number 1 offensive team. The Lakers sometimes get overconfident and they start relaxing. All in all, if you're worried about the Lakers right now, we're still 17-3. We still have the best record in the league. We're still the best team in the West by a couple of games. If anything, I think this loss before heading on a tough road trip could be a blessing in disguise. It could really wake up the Lakers, let them know that we can't play with our food. We got to execute. First half, we had them. We're up by 3. We had to come out with the same sense of urgency in the second half, and we didn't. Questions. Dan, if you can get rid of 3 players, who would they be? I mean, if I had to get rid of 3 players, it would be the players that get the less playing time. It would be, obviously, Jared Dudley. It'll probably be Troy Daniels because he does not get in a lot of playing time. I don't know. If I had to get rid of 3 players, it would be players that don't get a lot of PT. I don't know who the third one would be, honestly. But I don't want to get rid of anybody because I believe in these players. We're 17-3 for a reason. These guys are going to come through. It's just one loss. We can't overreact. We can't hit the panic button, but we can learn from this loss. And there's a lot of things. I've been saying it for a long time. A team is going to catch us slipping. Eventually we're going to take quarters off, and a team is going to execute. That team tonight was the Dallas Mavericks. They came in focused. They played 3 to 4 quarters consistently. They kept coming at us, and then they broke away, and we didn't. We went on our little slump, and then we never recovered from that. We continued to settle for 3-point shots. They started playing zone. We continued settling. LeBron knows better. I don't know why sometimes he settles for step-back threes. Anthony Davis, long mid-range jump shots. They kind of killed the whole flow of the game in the second half, and Anthony Davis was just feasting on the Mavericks in the first half. So I don't know why we go away from our game plan that's working, but sometimes I think it could be an ego thing. Sometimes I think it could be players trying to pad their stats, and then eventually the game gets away, then it's too late. We can't play like that. We got to play as a unit. We got to keep cutting. We got to keep crashing the glass. They killed us on the boards. They have 17 on us. What was it, offensive rebounds? I'm not even sure. But, they edged us out in the rebounding department. That can't happen. We're a bigger, more skilled team than them on the glass. So he said, DTLF, tough loss. We needed this loss so the team wakes up. we will destroy the Nuggets on Tuesday. And see, the thing is that we probably were so confident from that blowout victory where we killed the Washington Wizards, and we came out just nonchalant, and it showed tonight. On the effort wasn't there. Got to give them credit, man. The Dallas Mavericks out rebounded us, they out hustled us, and they knocked down their shots. We didn't, But at the end of the day, like I said, you got to throw this one in a garbage can and move forward. Luka plays like LeBron. You think so? Luka is very finesseful. I enjoy his style of play. I didn't enjoy it tonight, obviously, because he killed my Lakers. But I enjoy the way he plays, man. He's just a smart player. He doesn't waste possessions, Even your superstars, our superstars sometimes waste possessions. They try to do too much. For some reason, Luka Doncic reminds me a little bit of like a bigger Steve Nash, because Steve Nash just took care of the basketball and everything was high efficient shots. Even his step backs are high efficient shots. So, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, look, guys, we took this L. We're going to take it like champs. We're not going to sit here and just cry and moan about it. Look, we lost. We lost to an offensive team that was hot, and they were ready for us defensively as well. So we have to improve in a lot of areas. But our perimeter defense is what concerns me the most, because with Avery Bradley, our perimeter defense is A. Without Avery Bradley, it's like a D plus. That's not good. We can't put our bigs in that kind of position all game long to block shots, because eventually they can get injured. They can get in foul trouble. Like, the outcome can be really bad if our perimeter guards don't step up and try to stay in front of their man more consistently. That was the biggest gaping hole I saw. The guys were just waltzing into the paint. Did you see that play in the third quarter where Luka Doncic just walked up into the paint and dunked it? Now one person rotated, everybody looking at each other, blaming each other. No, we have to be able to communicate. We have to be able to help each other and just rotate better. They moved the ball extremely well. Give them credit. He said, Dan, I'm sorry, but is it that hard to stay and guard the 3-point line? Yes, it is, because sometimes they can beat you with the first step and there's no more hand checking. So you can't, slide your hand in front of them and hold them until you recover. That doesn't work anymore. And on top of that, they get all these foul calls that are crazy, all these flops. I mean, did you see when AD tried to slide in front of Doncic and he flopped and they called it a foul? That's why it's so hard to stay in front of these guys. But I understand your frustration. I mean, it was just all bad. The effort just wasn't there tonight. If you get rid of 3 players and upgrade our bench, who would they be? You really want the answer to that, don't you? I mean, but you have to ask yourself, what do you consider an upgrade? Like, who would be available in the market? I can't just say upgrade our bench, because I like our bench. I just feel like Kuz still hasn't obviously lived up to what we want, where we want him to be yet. But I think he will get there. It's a long season. Let's not forget. And then Quinn Cook again. Quinn Cook didn't even get consistent minutes tonight. I don't know why. That kind of puzzled me, because he had a good game last game. But Troy Daniels has been appearing and disappearing. He has been disappearing more than appearing. Danny Green is my biggest disappointment these last couple of games, because he's so much better than this. He is. He truly is. And I know he's going to snap out of it, but tonight it cost us. I feel like we could have used him to stretch the floor and made things easier for guys in the paint, especially in the second half. All it is and by the way, I'm going to block everybody that says Kuz is trash, because y'all ain't real Laker fans, man. I understand you're passionate, but y'all sound like really whiny babies right now. Like, seriously, man. I don't get it. One bad game by Kuz and y'all want to kill him. Good games, y'all are real quiet. I hate that. I get it if you're concerned about him, cool, but just don't trash the man. It gets on my nerves. It's just one loss. We're still the best team in the NBA. There's no need to hate on the man. It's okay if you're concerned about him. It's okay. But if you're a real Laker fan, you should have learned your lesson with KCP. You were trashing him, and look at him now. He's playing a lot better. So just please stop. You can't say we aren't Laker fans because Kuz has one good game out of 10? Really? Okay. I'm going to remember you first name, last name. Please show that same energy when he drops another 14 points in the fourth quarter again. Please keep that same energy, because now you done piss me off with that stupid comment, honestly. How can I not say you're not a real Laker fan? Because you're trashing our guy, our young player. You're treating him like he's a vet. You're holding him to the same standard. And on top of that, seriously, like you're saying he's trash. You can't say that. You know what trash is? Trash isn't in the NBA. There's no player in the NBA that's trash. Seriously, just stop, guys. Knock it off. You sound like whiny babies after one loss. Seriously, this is why a lot of people hate our fan base, because we're misrepresented by some fans, and they really come off as narcissistic. you know what. But yeah, it's okay to be passionate. I don't want to hear this Kuzma's trash because he had a bad game. I don't want to hear that. Lakers need to do better dealing with the zone. Yes, I've been saying it all season long, man. I feel like sometimes it throws us off, and we have to be able to adapt, and we have to be able to penetrate and just take smarter shots. I agree with that. He said, exactly. Chill out, y'all. Stop blaming. It just gets on my nerves, honestly. Like, Kuzma's trash because he had one bad game. Okay. Knee-jerk reaction of the year. Dan, I don't think Kuz is trash, but I think the LA life is too much of a distraction to him. That's fair. You could say that. You could say anything. Your opinion, it's a valid point. However, when you start trashing players that have had great games for us this season, that have helped us win games, it's almost like having what's that term? Short-term memory loss. That's what it feels like. Like you forget when they do good, but you always remember the bad. It's crazy. It's a half glass, half full, half empty. Which way do you want to see it? It was one bad game, and you can't pin this whole loss on one player because honestly, even our stars didn't show up in the second half. Let's be real. The people that blame games on one player their basketball IQ is lacking, to say the least. Now, this is me being polite. This is me being polite. Their basketball IQ is really lacking. 17-3, man. There's nothing to cry about. Seriously. I understand the question. Like, if you can upgrade your bench, who would it be? But let's name players. Who's available right now on the trade block that can help this team? Because I haven't heard one name float out there. There's fake rumors talking about JJ Redick and all that. But let's be real. That name hasn't truly came out of the Pelicans front office. So, I don't think we're still in a period where everybody's still finding out what their team can do. Now, after December, maybe then we can start talking trades. I don't want to talk trades right now, especially after one loss. It seems kind of petty to me. I don't know. But it is what it is. Dan, J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith is a streaky volume scorer. I'm not sure that's what we need. What we need is better perimeter defense. We had that with Bradley. Now, Iguodala would be perfect, but he's not available. Like, Iguodala would solve all our perimeter problems, with the swift stroke of the pen as soon as he signs. But he's not available right now. Let's keep it 100. It's more our perimeter defense needs to be upgraded. Exactly. When Bradley comes back, we'll be good. I agree with that, but the reason we still need to upgrade potentially there in the perimeter is because we can't just rely on one player to be the table setter. We need to get multiples. So we can have somebody like Bradley and Iguodala, game over. They'll take turns just wreaking havoc in the perimeter. KCP has been okay sometimes, but most of the times he gambles too much. LeBron's been gambling. There's been several players that have gambled. And the one thing about Avery is that he stays disciplined. He only reaches when the ball totally gets exposed. So he's that one guy, man. You just can't. He's like a bug on a windshield. You can't get off. And you got to love that. He's pesky. You should have worn the jacket, Dan. Yeah, I know. I tried to, but fans said no. And fans want to vote on it. So, again, I'm okay with that. He said, last I checked, which was 5 minutes ago, we still had the number one team. Y'all relax. Exactly. Hey, Dan, Kuzma wasn't the only player that didn't bring it today. We lost as a team. I agree, Ruben, 100%, man. That's all we need. We need some educated fans in the chat because, we need to educate the ones that need help. And it's okay to be emotional. Just don't be disrespectful to our players, man. I think they've earned our respect. 17-3, come on. Let's not seem like the spoiled child that gets everything. The one day that he doesn't get it, he throws a tantrum. Let's not be that fan base. We're better than that. We're much better than that. We're the best fan base in the world. Come on now. Come on, somebody. T said, this win is going to make our team work harder and hit the weak spots we currently have. I like that, T. You're absolutely right. Sometimes losses can be a blessing. Look what happened after we lost to the Clippers. We won 7 in a row. And then we lost to the Thunder. To the Toronto Raptors. We won another 10 in a row. So it's okay. Fans are disappointed. We understand that. Yeah, it's okay to be disappointed. Just don't disrespect your players, man. If you're a real fan, you are there through thick and thin. It's like if you got a girlfriend or if you're married, right? Are you going to turn on her as soon as you have a bad day, or are you going to stick by her side? That's what you got to do, man. That's what you got to do. And then you have stupid fans like this that really don't represent any fan base. Like he said, I'm not going to repeat what Dallas, whatever his name is, ridiculous man said, because so stupid. Seriously. Ridiculous. I'm glad that I have this hide button because a lot of people don't deserve the privilege to have any sort of platform. They talk out of their backside. It's crazy. Lakers never win a game in the afternoon, Dan. You think so? You think that's what it was? Maybe so. Maybe so. You're right with the perimeter defense, but we got to have consistent offense with more players than AD and Bron. I agree with that as well. And in order for that to happen, we have to move the rock. Again, today it was very stagnant. It was very, very stagnant. And when it gets stagnant, it was basically one-on-one, a lot of one-on-one ball, One-on-one ball is a recipe for, if you're hot, success, but if you're not, like tonight, disaster. We'll win Tuesday night against the Nuggets, Dan. Hopefully, because that's a really, really good team. And, I really want to beat them. I truly do. I feel like that Denver Nugget team, those are the type of teams that kill us. The perimeter-oriented, even their big man, Jokic, can shoot. Again, tonight, I said the same thing. I said the same thing about tonight's game. I said, be careful. It's not going to be easy victory because they have perimeter shooters. I mentioned it pregame if you guys were with me. If not, you can always go back and watch it. But, yes, I mentioned that was my concern is that perimeter. These guys can shoot lights out, and that's what happened. And they killed us on a glass as well. They got second chance points, kicked it out to shooters, tapped it out to shooters, and they knocked them down. We need better two-way guys. I agree with that. If we do an upgrade, it has to be a two-way player. That's why I say no to JR. I say no to Melo because that's not going to solve anything. We do plenty of scoring tonight. But the thing about this team is that when we're locked in defensively, we lock in offensively. It's like one feeds the other. Have you guys noticed that? And tonight we weren't either or. We played good in the first half, and we had our defensive moments, but we weren't locked in for 48 minutes, and that's why we lost the game. It's normal. We're not going to win them all, guys. Get used to it. We're going to lose a couple more this season. It's a long season. I sure hope you guys weren't expecting the Lakers to go 80-2 because that wasn't going to happen. So, you have to have your eyes on the prize. You got to look at the bigger picture. If we can learn from this, we will. Block the flippers. I don't even see them. I don't even see it. You guys see Clipper fans? Point them out because they're so irrelevant to me. I can't even see them. Honestly, they're like roaches, man. They only come out once in a while. It's all good. We got the raid on hand right here, ready to go. The refs were horrible again. The Lakers should complain about that. I would say that the refs have been horrible all season long, but the Lakers should actually ignore them. And we're talented enough to win. We're talented enough to win. We don't need ref help like the Clippers or the Rockets do, or teams like that. We don't need that. We're the Lakers, man. We're too talented. So I would say ignore it, stop complaining, put your head down and go to work. And eventually those calls hopefully start coming for you. But for now, we have to just, yeah, exactly. Be cool in defeat, be humble, and enjoy what we already have because we have an amazing record, 17-3. First 20 games, we have 17 out of the first 20. Come on now. At this rate, we're going to end up with less than 10 losses. But, of course, it might be more because I don't expect the same start. But still, man, as long as the Lakers have a winning record and when we make it to the playoffs, we should win the championship. I'm sorry, Dan, I have to disagree with you. I'd rather have Carmelo than KCP. That wasn't even an option. Carmelo wasn't on the trade block. He was a free agent. And KCP's contract is too big to cut. So I understand that you disagree, but that wasn't even an option. Hey, Dan, at least the haters know what channel to come to. Lakers, Tire Love, DTL. Thank you so much, T. I appreciate the positivity. See, we got to be positive for a change, people. We got to be positive even in defeat. You learn from your losses, man. Take your L's like a man. Dan, I will give up twos all day before giving up threes. Our perimeter defense sucks. That I can agree with, though. I can't even complain about that. You're absolutely right. Our perimeter defense since Avery Bradley went down has been very questionable, and it's okay to criticize the team as long as you're not trashing individual players. That doesn't work. That's like it's just finding a scapegoat. That's like a lazy explanation, like, oh, Kuzma's trash, or oh, Rondo's trash, or come on now. That's lazy. You know, you have to get your X's and O in order. You have to get your basketball IQ up so you can really break down the game within the game. You know, just blaming one player and say they're trash and that's why we lost. There will be times when you can do that, but this is not it. This loss isn't a problem. It's winning close games and not dominating. I see what you're saying, Gloria. I see what you're saying, but like you said, this loss isn't a problem. We have to just work on our weaknesses. That's perimeter defense and consistent offense. You know, I told you guys before today even started, December is going to be very telling, and we're going to learn a lot about this team. Let's see how we bounce back from this loss. That's it. T said, "You're right. No room for elementary talk." Yeah, I mean that's a scapegoat type stuff, man. That reminds me of my mom always used to make me mad after we lost because she would always just take the easy explanation. She would say, "It's rigged." I'm like, "It's not rigged, Ma. We just lost. It's not rigged, you know." But she would say, "It's rigged because the Lakers didn't even try." I was like, "Bro, we lost. It's going to happen." I'll run the faith for my boy Dan. Thanks, John. I appreciate you, bro. I got you too. He said, "We learn from tonight and be better." But if you guys have any questions before I get off, man, I'm here for you guys, man. It's cool to vent and all that. Just keep it respectful. Hey, DTLF, the hate is real. Every time I watch your streams or vids, I get Clipper ads. Scratch my damn head. Dang, it's like that? They're really trying to take over my channel like that? Nah, it's not going to happen, man. You see the posters on the wall. That's not going to happen. He said your mom sounds like Aisha Curry. That's funny. Nah, man, my mom is she's a godsend, bro. Watches bounce back versus the Nuggets. Nuggets lost to the Kings. Now the Nuggets are going to be looking for a bounce back game as well. So we really got to come focus that game. And then we're going to the Mile High City. That's going to be tough, man. Those lungs get really tired up there because you're in high altitude. Everybody knows. Longtime NBA fans know. We barely beat the Mavs last game. Tonight showed the Mavs really wanted this game more and were prepared. Absolutely. And you know what, Gloria? You have to give credit where credit is due. The Mavs outplayed us tonight, and props to them. You can't even hate on them. Very talented young team. They're going to be a problem in the West for years to come. A lot of people didn't believe me when I said, man, the Knicks are dumb by trading Porzingis over to the Mavs. Now that they just made it hard for us in the West, and they didn't get enough in return. People didn't believe me. They thought I was crazy. They said, oh, Porzingis is always injured, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Well, look now. They have a formidable team. Kuz and Rondo's defense kills us. I hope they work on their defensive schemes. Too many buckets. But we can't win them all. Lakers will be the last laugh. Yeah, man, absolutely. Yeah, dang. Every time I watch your videos on my phone with YouTube, it shows Clipper ads. Like, come on, the disrespect. They're trying hard to push their agenda. You know, Steve Ballmer's obviously one of the richer guys. Did you guys hear the story about him throwing out jerseys to the media? Come on, man. That shouldn't even be legal. Like, you're bribing the media so that they can talk so good about you. But that's how desperate they are. Games like this happen in an 82-game season. Yeah. That's exactly what that's exactly my point, Mario. I agree, man. And yeah, it's disappointing. I'm not happy about this loss at all. But it is what it is, man. We can't blame one player. It's just that's not very logical. We just got to bounce back next game. And not just that, man. We have to find a way. We have to find a way to play consistent basketball because we're so talented that all it takes is 3 to 4 minutes and we go up 10, 15 points. Imagine if we can just put that together and just blow teams out in the first half and then just rest our starters, man, because we're that talented. If we could put together like 8 solid minutes a quarter, nobody's going to compete with us. And that's where Frank Vogel has to continue to work with the team to move the ball and play within the offense, get them to buy in, you know, because when teams and players buy in, it's out of this world. When we lose games, everyone talks trash about the Lakers. It's either Laker haters or fair weather fans, man. Real Laker fans don't talk trash about the Lakers. We keep our head up, and we're still very prideful of that 17-3 start. Come on now. Come on, somebody. It's back-to-back. We needed this win today. Need is a strong word. Want is another thing. We won back-to-back before the season, so we can do it. But you're right. We're going to have to dig deep because those are 2 hard teams. Dan, you are right. The Lakers were starting to develop bad habits. Yeah, and it caught us. You know, I've been mentioning this the last couple of videos. We're developing bad habits, and the wrong team is just going to take advantage of us one night. And that night was today, but that's okay because you got to learn from it And that's how you do away with the bad habits. I'd rather these bad habits get ironed out during the regular season than dealing with these bad habits in the playoffs. Because then it would be really frustrating. Then you will see me get mad and start breaking some stuff around here, man. We playing like this in the playoffs because that's when we need to really show up. Denver is next. Are you worried, Dan? Considerably. Denver is a very good team, so I am concerned about them. I respect that team. They have perimeter shooters. They have paint beasts like Paul Millsap and Jokic. You know, Jamal Murray, for some reason, he loves to kill us. He won't show up the rest of the regular season, but he'll show up versus the Lakers like he's Kobe Bryant or something. And, you know, they have very good role players like Will Barton. So that is going to be a tough team for sure, especially in their house. All right, T, good to see you. Absolutely, you're right. Pull for the jacket next game or too early? No, this whole month of December is going to be jacket month. So I'm going to let you guys vote on it every single game because I want us to get as many victories as possible. Hopefully it doesn't wear out some of his lucky Laker jacket luck. You know, I'm very superstitious when it comes to that jacket. You guys know. If you guys been with me, you know how clutch that jacket has been. So I don't want to wear it out. But at the same time, I want to get victories this month. And yes, you guys can vote for it every single game. Like I'm going to do probably 1 hour before the game on Twitter. And I might even run a poll right here on YouTube because a lot of you guys don't have Twitter. So that's okay. I want to get everybody involved for sure. Lakers perimeter defense must improve. Absolutely. Any news on Avery, Dan? We are missing his defense. Armando, I'm pleased. If you weren't here for pregame, I will update you. My brother, I'm pleased to inform you that he's coming back. Pretty soon he's going to be reevaluated. Next week he's been cleared for 3-on-3 contact drills. So that usually takes like a week, you know, for him to come back. Thanks, Dan. We're thankful to have you. Oh, man, I appreciate you guys. I'm equally as thankful to have you guys, so you're welcome. I heard the Cautions is going to play at the playoffs. Oh, I'm sorry. I read that really wrong. I said Cautions. Cousins is going to play in the playoffs. I hope so. We could use that extra size, and Cousins isn't a joke when he's feeling, you know, at least 60 to 70% healthy. If he can come back, I welcome him with huge open arms because DeMarcus Cousins is a bully. And as good as Dwight has been for us in the paint, I think DeMarcus Cousins would be even better offensively. Defensively, Dwight has been great. But these last couple of games, he's been getting called for a lot of BS calls, you know, fouls. The goaltending block shot that he had in the first half was just ridiculous, man. The ball was clearly still going up, and the refs called that a goaltending. They've been like that every single game. So it's been tough. But I'll take a couple more questions before I get off, guys. I got to get ready, and then I'm going to go take care of some business. But he said, do you think the team in the playoffs will go to that 2-3 zone against us? Absolutely. Teams are going to research us and study us because we're the best team in the league. So they're already trying to find ways to stop AD and LeBron. What AD and LeBron have to do is develop better pick and roll chemistry and continue to run that down teams' throats till they can't take no more. So, hey, Vincent, there he is with the daily donation. Thank you, but I appreciate you, man. He said KCP has a bad game. Let him start next game. Yeah, I think you mean Kuzma. I'm not sure if you meant KCP, but I'm going to take your word for it. KCP has been starting. I'm not sure if that was a question you meant to ask, but yeah, KCP has been starting, my man. Kuzma's the one that I might experiment with in the starting lineup. That might really help him get going early. So if I'm Frank Vogel, I'm going to find a way to get this man's morale and confidence back to where it was before he got injured. That's what we're going to need, an aggressive Kuzma. He's been very tentative. I need him shooting 10 to 15 shots per game, not 3 to 4. You know, we need Kuzma to not be a phantom. And in order to get him going, I think if he played with the starting unit, he would get so many more open looks and easier shots at the basket with LeBron and Anthony Davis. I think for now, that might be the move to go. If I'm Frank Vogel, I might look into that. But we'll see. We'll see what coach does. I trust him, and hopefully he finds a way to incorporate Kuzma more into the offense. Dan, should Kuzma start instead of Green? Not Green, instead of KCP. Again, if you guys remember, in the summer I said that the Lakers should start Kuzma, Danny Green, LeBron at point guard, Anthony Davis, and JaVale McGee. You know, I think that starting Kuzma might be the way to go just to get him going. And I think that would be the way. But we'll see. Again, I'm not the coach. Frank Vogel is, so let's see what he does moving forward. Is Vogel ever going to start Frank I'm sorry, is Vogel ever going to start AD at the 5? I have no clue. AD doesn't. He's not a big fan of the 5, but sometimes he closes games at the 5. So it doesn't matter if he starts; is where he finishes as far as AD goes. But everybody else, man, like I'm curious to see what happens. Everyone has a bad game except for LeBron and AD. I felt like even though they put up the numbers, they could have had a better halves in the second half. Kuzma's a liability defensively. He showed no effort tonight. Again, it goes with my theory that he's still finding his role within this team. And like I said, it's harder for a young player to adapt to a winning team than it is to a losing team. Look at Brandon Ingram. He's having a sensational season with the Pelicans, 26 points per game, shooting over 50% from the field. However, that's not translating to wins. And there's the difference. Like when you're on a losing team, you can put up buckets easily because there's not really any pressure on you to like help your team. You're not getting scrutinized every other game. Like Kuzma's getting scrutinized and we're 17-3. Think about that. So that's exactly why it's so hard for him to adapt, in my opinion. You're on a team where the microscope and the lens is extra like on you, and fans and the media expect you to be almost damn near perfect. Knock down your shots, play defense, and just be consistent. For a young player like Kuz, it's a process, man. I think he will adapt, but like I said, if I'm Frank Vogel, I'm starting him just to get his confidence up, and eventually I think he will buy in on both ends of the floor. It does wonders for you, man, when your coach shows confidence in you. It really does wonders for you. I mean, like I said, look what Brandon Ingram is doing over there in New Orleans. Would McGee be better off the bench? That's a tough question. Only if Anthony Davis moves to the 5. If not, I want McGee at the 5. You can see that Kuzma is trying to fit in. Exactly. He's going to take some time to adapt. We have to be patient, but it's easier for me to be patient when we're 17-3 than if we're 3-17, right? If you're 3-17 now, everything's burning down and you want instant results. But if you're 17-3, there's a little room for error, you know? And it's okay, man. Kuzma's going to be just fine. If anything, I'm a little more concerned for Danny Green because he's been inconsistent this season, and I expect more from that veteran who's a champion. He's a two-time champ, 2 or 3-time champion. I lost count, but I expect a little bit better from him, especially knocking down shots and all that. But I have my faith in him as well. So he said, Dan, I'm really worried about the Lakers because at times they look like they're not focused in many games while other teams are much hungrier. Like I said, everybody's coming after us, game in and game out. So we're going to have to show up. So I understand your concern, but the Lakers will be fine. We are still 17-3. So we have to make some adjustments, but it's all good. Dan, were you disappointed in Rondo today? I was disappointed in the whole team. They didn't show up in the second half as a unit. You can't really point the finger at one player, but yes, Rondo included, our bench especially. But yeah, man. But it is what it is, guys. We're going to move on. As classy Laker fans, we're not going to trash our players. We're not going to be, emotional. I don't want to say it, but we're not going to be that. And let's just move forward and let's keep marching, guys. Because we're 17-3. Last I checked, still the best team in the NBA, and a lot of room for improvement. So let's keep our head up, guys. It's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next one, man. Have a great day, guys. Don't let this loss get you down. Peace out.